Junior.
Okay.
Sorry, you'll let us know when we're live.
We are live. I just haven't started recording yet, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat
Few
my
seconds.
lunch unless somebody will be offended.
You be sure.
I will share. What would you like?
Except you were ongoing. Yeah, we gotta go after this. It's like almost 50. I know. See what the snow's like. It should be
Before the rain starts, yeah.
Yeah, if it's gonna start, it looks like it might miss us.
Does it, the
Yeah,
rain?
I
Because I
know.
saw the rain. and I thought, ooh.
I know.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna stay a little southeast of us.
Okay,
You're tan.
I just got back from Florida.
Oh,
I was in Florida with my sisters. It was nice.
Nice.
Got it, yeah, I think you had sunscreen on, you're looking a little pink.
Oh, this is not paid for me. I did part of the time. I did not always.
I know, you just.
I know.
To get this
I
in.
know.
Karen, whenever you are ready.
All right, you ready to start the meeting? I'll call the meeting in order. First section, approval of the minutes from the
Roll call.
roll call, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Patrick Wise. Here. Nancy Rondell.
Here.
Dana Mulder.
Here.
Karen Stroud Donnelly.
Here.
And Savannah Mack. Is it Mackey or Mackey?
Mackie.
Mackey. Savannah Mackey. John Cassidy, I did meet with him on Wednesday, just to go over the tree board. He just was out of town, I think, March Madness weekend. Apparently it's a tradition for him, so he'll be back at the next tree board meeting.
Is he super excited?
Yeah, no, he was really excited to get to know what's going on, so he's gonna want to be involved in the Arbor Day Fest for sure, so. Cool.
Great. Very good. All right, now we can, do we have any changes or revisions to the minutes as written? No, I make a motion we approve. Okay,
Second it.
all right, first and second, all approve. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. Okay, great. All right. Do we have any board communication?
I have one quick one. So you may have heard that regardless of whether or not the skate park goes there or not, we have about 33 trees by Bay Bluffs in the skate park currently. They're tall pine trees that are interfering with our electric utility. They're gonna have to go. So they're gonna go either this spring or summer, but Lucas wanted to just have the tree board start thinking about replacement trees. We might not replace all 33 of them, but definitely right in front of Bay Bluffs. And then once we get the new skate park in, some trees there, but what kind of trees we should have there. We don't want trees that could grow tall enough to interfere with our utility lines. But they also need to, add some aesthetics. So just start thinking about that. We'll come to you for that in the future.
I just have one question about that. I was down on Main Street the other day and we did plant those Swan White oaks right under a line. But I think the thought was that Ben thought he could manage, any pruning with that.
Yeah.
Do you think the same would be true up here? It might give us a little more option, a few more options on what we could do. If
It
we were,
depends. I mean, how much more workload that's gonna put on our staff, how much cost. We have to think about that. So let's bring those ideas. This just brings ideas. I just want you to start thinking about it.
Sure.
Have you talked to, you probably haven't, but Bay Bluffs, I'm wondering if they would like something that was somehow a little more solid in terms of protection of residents wandering into the street, just a thought.
I haven't talked to Big Bluffs. I'll ask Lucas if. he
They
has
might
talked.
just want to have a conversation with Lisa or something.
He did meet with Lisa about something else
Okay.
a couple days ago, so I don't know if that conversation
Okay.
was brought up.
It's just
So-
a thought.
So he does have a relationship with her. so-
That was always a concern when I worked there, is if somebody did get out, that road is really
It's-
busy
yeah, that's
and
true.
it would deter maybe, I don't know, just
Nope,
worth
it's
thinking
good.
about.
It's good.
Worth thinking about.
That's all I have, Karen.
All right. Thank you. Do we have any public comments? Anybody on Zoom?
Nope.
I guess Rachel and I can report that we brought up Arbor Day to the rec board and Parks and Rec board, whatever we're calling ourselves.
Parks board right now.
Yeah, Park board. And people are gonna volunteer at Arbor Day.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
who actually shows up and, we have a couple more meetings before that.
a ways out, and it's Memorial Day weekend, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's really great. I often wondered if we should make that kind of a partnership kind of event, with tree board as well as Parks board. you know, maybe
Sure.
do a collaborated event. Because everyone's gonna be working on it together and it is a park, so.
I think it makes sense when it's at a park that we do collaborative. Tree board still runs the show because obviously it's an Arbor Fest, but I think, you know, any collaboration is good. I'm sure Rachel's fine with that.
I got a lot of toilet paper rolls.
Oh, good.
I did too.
Good, yes, everybody say we do toilet paper rolls.
Oh, yeah, yes, I'm doing that.
Well, maybe at the next meeting, you could give a rundown on what we're doing and what we need help with and all that.
Great. All right. So no other public comments. Then let's move on to the implementation matrix review, all of our personal favorites, I think. So I sent out a revised copy of what I had sent earlier, just trying to consolidate it even more than before. And Anna took another stab at it this morning.
Okay.
So, but it's pretty much in the same order, but I try to combine related activities, you know, one after another, even maybe combine them into one goal.
Did you send it this morning, you said?
I sent it last night.
okay.
Yeah.
I sent mine over to Victor.
Yes, I did.
They're very, very similar. I had one more category for funding, but
So I'm trying to keep it, you know, simple, so it's not a really long process to kind of agree on the priorities. And so I try to, as I said earlier in prior emails, I try to combine these into categories so that, you know, the related items are together. And then last night I revised it again to try to simplify it and organize the goals where they're similar into, you know, sequential. So there's one after another that are related to each other. And then looking at all of these, I did see, and I think we should know that there are some items that are really just not anything we have to prioritize. It's just really kind of defining, you know, a rule or recognizing a rule, but it's something that's kind of existing in the tree board. So I don't think we really have to call it a, you know, name it a priority.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll come to some of those. But I thought a good place to start would be like, let's pick our top priorities, you know, number one to start with. And then maybe the others will fall from there. And we probably, I would guess we're probably going to be a lot on the same page in terms of what we think is important. And if we're not, I really don't want us to have to do a debate on every single line item because we'd be here way past the hour. But if we wanted to consider, if some people are 3 and some people are 1, maybe then the average is 2 and it kind of falls out of there as a first priority. So maybe it's a matter of trying to average the numbers together if that's the case.
Well, I think Karen, that's a good idea. If we all just, you all just say, if I go line by line and you guys just say what number it is, I'll write those numbers down and then average them out. And then that's simple as that. 1 being the highest, 3 being the lowest, and then we can just go through them quickly. Let's not have a debate or discussion about them here. So let's just, you say your numbers and then we bring them back. I bring back the next highest, the highest ranked ones to our next meeting to start talking about which ones we should explore.
Right. Yeah. I thought that would save some discussion unless there's something controversial, which I don't think there is anything like that. So if that's okay with you, we could kind of go through it that way.
Okay.
And
We
we
should
should,
section by section.
yeah, or item by item, under each category.
Okay.
And so what I said earlier, Nancy, I saw you had already worked, I'm sure Patrick too, on what I prior to this sent. So they're kind of in the same order, but there might be some differeces there. So we've got, yeah, okay. Yeah.
This is good, Karen. I think this is.
All right. So why don't we start at the very top, the tree inventory and assessment. So the updating the tree inventory is already ongoing. There's nothing, I don't think we have to set a priority on that. It's still underway.
Well, I think, no, see that, the column before is progress, completed, ongoing, or not started.
Right.
I think even if something's ongoing, you can determine if it's a priority or not. So I would,
So not started should be gone from there and ongoing should be in that
Yes.
column.
yeah,
Yes.
there you go. I have it on the screen. And I'll just go, maybe one by one, say what your numbers are. Patrick?
So we're just starting at the top, then tree inventory assessment.
Update the tree inventory as trees are added and removed. 1 is highest, 3 is lowest.
It's a top, update the tree inventory as trees are added right on the top.
It's got, so it's ongoing, so it's at the top of our, I would say.
Okay, 1,
I say that's 1.
2,
1.
1.
1.
All right.
1 is when.
The next one, Karen, you want me to read this? Read them going forward? Okay.
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. Complete the tree inventory for trees on public property. Patrick?
1,
I had a 3.
3,
I think if the first one's a 1, this is a 1.
whatever. Karen?
I had it as a 2.
2? Sven?
2.
2. All right.
So what are we doing, 2?
Yep.
Oh, I
Conduct.
see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm going down the road. Yep. Conduct a biannual assessment of the health of each tree.
I would like to make a comment before we discuss. I think biennial is twice a year, right? Or is it every 2
Well,
years?
it could be either or. The English language is not clear about what biweekly, biannual, bi-monthly means.
I would say absolutely the most often we would do it would be once a year. So I don't know if we could change that to annual. If other people would agree.
That's what was on the other one was annual, at least on my sheet.
So change that to annual. I agree with that, Deanna. Good.
All right, Patrick, an
1.
annual. 1, okay.
What did I say? I had a 2 on that.
2,
I did a 1.
No, I did a 1 too.
Are you averaging these in your head?
No, I'm writing them down here and then
Oh,
I'll
okay,
average them
gotcha.
later. Yeah,
Okay, all right, cool. All right.
good at mental math, but not that quick. Create a map that shows tree location by species. Patrick?
2.
2,
I had a 3.
3,
Yeah.
3.
3,
3.
3. Create GIS mapping overlays that distinguish between trees on public and private property.
3.
I had a 1.
3,
3.
3.
2.
Okay, this next one is indicate trees that are near utility poles or other city infrastructure that may pose a problem for either the tree or the infrastructure.
2.
2.
Because this is in a different order now. Okay, sorry.
Indicate trees that are near utility poles or other city infrastructure that may pose a problem for the tree or city infrastructure.
I would say 1.
1.
1.
1.
1.
2.
Okay, this is fun. Identify and protect significant trees such as landmark and heritage trees.
1.
1,
1.
2.
2.
1.
1.
Okay.
I had 2 others under, that I thought were under inventory assessment. Do you want to talk about them now or wait until? we
Let's
get
wait
to-
till the end. Let's
See if we
I'm
wanna
going
move
off
them
of
or not
Karen's
move them.
compile.
Okay,
Cool. All right, maintenance protection. Estimate the amount of water each tree receives.
1.
1.
When we're talking about this, are we talking about trees on public property? Unless
Yes,
it's otherwise
yeah.
specified. I'd say a 3.
3.
I said 3.
I had 1.
2.
Install irrigation systems where feasible.
I think 1.
I'm gonna say 3.
3. I did 3.
3.
Develop guidelines for the TAP to follow when considering a resident's request to remove trees from public property that are not already covered by the city's vegetation management policy.
Here's one, can I bring up one
I don't know,
before we
yeah.
vote? I added another column that was policy. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
So that's kind of related to what I said earlier, like some of these are more, like policy things. that
Yeah,
are-
and there would be maybe policy things that staff would work on, so they'd have their own.
But they're still priority level of whether the
They are,
staff.
but I know, but I had another subcategory for policy, like that one I had under policy.
Okay, I think that's just a separate top. I think we should score it and then talk about that separate column.
Okay, good, okay.
Patrick, you said 2?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, 2 is fine for that one.
I had 1.
And I also had one.
2,
Coordinate with the city's Department of Public Works on the best techniques for safely trimming trees that do not kill the trees, but also achieve DPW's need to maintain infrastructure and utilities.
2,
2,
One,
1,
I feel like that was one that I thought maybe was under another category and we didn't need it. Works. Well, let me just say,
coordinate with the
I
department.
say one. I
One,
don't
okay.
know where that ended up on here.
no, I'm only following this one now. Yeah.
Right,
Karen?
1.
1.
1,
Perform systematic trimming as needed per ANSI A300 standards.
2,
2,
2,
I said to delete it. And the reason I say that is I think we can combine a few of these.
we could, but these are the goals that are already part of the plan, so.
These are projects, these aren't goals. So that's what I was looking at. Some of these things that are in here actually seem more like goals that are repeated from the plan rather than implementable.
These are all goals that have been taken from the plan and into an implementation matrix.
Yeah, but this is implementation and projects, I think, not goals.
All goals, I'm sorry, Dan, all goals should be implemented. And if we want to talk about whether or not that goal should or should not be implemented, then we can discuss removing it from the tree plan. So,
Yeah, I guess I thought of it in terms of, this is the translation of goals into projects.
I see this as any of these are priorities for people that have to complete the project. So it's not only that it's maybe a priority in itself, but it's also, and the reason I color coded all of these, like who's primarily responsible for each one of these. If we agree it's all one, then who's ever responsible for it would make that a priority.
So in this case, is it a priority that the city trims trees per ANSI A300 standards? That's what you're asking.
I guess the word in this one that I don't like is systematic. So I think it's as needed.
so then you can just, I would make it a 3, Diana, in terms of just trying to get numbers to it.
And then we
It's
can,
just not, this, the way it's written, it's not a priority.
Okay,
Or
gotcha.
2.
yeah.
Sorry
2,
to slow
2,
it down.
No, that's okay, that's
Karen?
good thoughts.
3.
3.
3 for me.
Trim and or remove hazardous trees on and along public right of ways.
1,
1,
1,
1.
1,
remove and replace diseased trees as needed.
1,
I'm gonna say 2.
I'm gonna say 1.
1.
1,
Clarify and expand the definition of destruction of trees in ordinance 423 to include the poisoning of trees by allowing toxic chemicals or materials to seep, drain, or be emptied on or near the tree.
1,
1, I'm just curious where that one came from. Okay, 1, there's obviously a reason behind that.
I had 2.
1,
There's a worry, some people in the past, from talking with Ben, had, when we were going through this plan, had actually dumped stuff by trees. like-
Oh, okay.
and so those,
In order to poison. it.
By
Yeah.
public tree, I get it, okay.
kill the tree on
Okay, sorry.
purpose. And say, hey, the tree died, you guys.
Just out of my realm of understanding, but that's okay, that's fine, okay.
Require,
rule.
yeah, require property owners to erect or install protective barriers around public property trees that may be injured or destroyed during construction activities. And that means during their personal construction
Right.
activities.
2,
I'd say 1, I think that's important.
I think 1.
1.
1,
All right. New plantings. Identify neighborhoods with relatively few trees.
2,
1,
1.
1.
2,
Create a potential planting location list and publicize a list of recommended tree species for planting on public property.
2,
2,
I think that's 1. I think it could be combined with the one before.
We're ready for
One. One.
Create and adopt a list of trees not allowed to be planted on public property.
One.
One.
I'm sorry to be such a troublemaker. I thought we took that out last time, that we were going forward with, here are the right trees rather than,
But it's still part of our plan, and so it's still on this implementation matrix. So if it's not a priority, you can.
okay, 3.
Yeah.
One.
One.
Create a not suitable tree list for trees that the city recommends homeowners avoid planting on private property.
Two.
3.
3.
One.
2.
Create a policy of diversity of species, genus, form, and aesthetics that is flexible and can adapt to changing conditions over time. And create a separate preferred tree species planting list for different types of public property, such as trees for right-of-ways, park trees, etc.
Two.
2.
A 1?
1.
1.
All city trees should be planted in accordance with American National Standards A300 planting standards, and all DPW employees should be trained to follow these standards.
One.
3.
1 plus. That overrides hers.
A 1.
1.
Consider the specific functional and aesthetic criteria as well as physical constraints when selecting a tree to be planted.
One.
1.
1. I did a 3 on that one.
1.
Document significant conflicts between existing trees and physical constraints such as infrastructure interference.
One.
1.
1, but I think it's a duplicate.
1.
1.
They are duplicates, and we should point out those duplicates later, but just a reminder, the reason we have duplicates is because different parts of our plan, different sections have similar, sometimes have the same goal. So
Understood, but
create street planting guidelines for trees to be planted in between sidewalks and trees.
One.
Can you tell me what that means between sidewalks and trees? What is
It
that?
should be,
the city boulevard.
it should be probably between sidewalks and streets.
Hmm.
Is probably what it should say, probably what.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then that makes sense. I couldn't make that
Yeah.
make sense to me. Okay,
Trees.
then that 1, that's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1.
1.
1.
Yeah, that's the second one. Irrigation and water availability will be considered for each tree planting. Consider watering methods at each site before approving tree plantings.
One.
1.
1 plus.
Dan.
I'll stop doing that.
1.
1.
We have to have a new category called 1 plus.
I was gonna say, we have to do 3 minus.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's really.
Applicants proposing to remove trees should be required to replace the tree with another tree that is at least 2.5 inches in diameter at breast height or as the tab recommends. Require applicants requesting to remove street trees for non-view reasons to replant a tree in its place or another agreed upon location, etc.
Two. Yeah.
I think the wording needs a little.
Yeah, I don't like the
tweaking.
way, let's say it 2. I think we need to look at that. The way
I would
that
say 1 if we can tweak the wording.
So 1 minus.
No, wait, but don't bring that up because 1A, 1B, 1.
2.
Create a policy that encourages capping the percentage of any tree species in the city rights of way at 20% of the total number of trees in the city's rights of way. Devise a plan to replace trees that exceed this limit as they die off or as they are damaged.
Two.
2, 2, 3.
2.
Edit the vegetation management policy to incorporate guidelines for reviewing how a city project could affect trees in the urban forests, and edit the vegetation management policy, street tree application and zoning code to require a minimum 3-year guarantee for all tree plantings required or approved by the city.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
that's not very clear. So that would be like the Swamp Oaks downtown? Are we talking about
Yes.
that type
Yeah.
of project?
Yep.
Okay.
Or, It also could be a project, let's say like we put in the new substation.
Right.
How is that project going to affect trees and the, et cetera?
I mean, the bad part for me is the guarantee of 3 years. I don't quite understand.
It's almost two different issues.
It seems like two different ones were combined into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's gonna guarantee it? And if it doesn't work, the city's gonna replace them if the city plan, I mean, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
We do have, so in other communities, when it comes to the zoning code,
Yeah.
there usually are requirements when the applicant like either plants trees as part of the requirement of their project on like on a city street, they're required to guarantee the existence of that tree, the life of the tree for X amount of years. And it's part of their condition. If they don't, then it's a violation of their condition of approval.
So if they're building a project on private property, where are we requiring them to plant a tree?
Well, for example, last night, if there's a condition where they're building a road and they are required to put in
Okay.
tree screening, and let's say those trees die within 2 months. like,
Okay.
Then they don't have to do it. So we want to make sure there's a guarantee that
I
those
see what-
trees
okay, that makes more
survive
sense.
for
That makes
a
more
few
sense to
years
me.
at least.
I
Okay,
think one thing to consider is 3 years is a long time. Industry standards,
Is one.
is one.
Right.
So maybe two.
It is, and I know we've kind of talked about that so I guess right now rate this goal. And then if you want to rate it lower, then we can go back to it and look at editing the goal. But we did, and as a reminder, we have talked about this with Ben. And the reason why we chose a year higher than 1 was because then there's really no incentive for someone if they're required to put in a tree then we have to pay for it after 1 year, replacing that tree if it dies.
And every tree is gonna make it 1 year. I think
Yeah,
the
so
only
that's why.
downside to this, maybe we're getting too much into the weeds here, but a 3-year warranty is gonna, I think, dramatically increase the cost of trees. But I guess,
But that's rate the policy. I'm just explaining the background, how we got there.
so we're talking about requiring someone to do it on private property though.
No, we're requiring, that's why it's a little complicated. There's 2 different things here. It could be a project, a city project, or it could be a personal project, but the trees that they're planting are on public property.
But they weren't on the thing last night. That's on private property.
I'm
I'm
for
sure.
example, if there was another street, for example, if that wasn't a private street, if that was a public street,
Okay,
like if let's say they were building a house and they had to remove trees to do the construction project.
right, and I totally would be
Yeah.
give it a 1, but if we don't clarify between public and private, I'm gonna, you know me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna struggle.
try and
We'll just start
Go ahead.
policy.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
I'm gonna give it a 3, so we have to look at it. Don't like
is
this.
3 gonna trigger looking at it, or is it gonna trigger?
It's gonna put it at the bottom of the list, and then when we review again, our goals again, we'll know that this is,
Do you wanna try and suggest a rewording that maybe would make it easier to follow?
not right now.
Not right now, but I mean, for next time. Gotcha.
Gotta give it a number.
So give it
3.
3.
I gave it a 2. Does this apply to right of way too?
It says guarantee for all tree plants required or approved by the city, so it would apply for trees that people are planting the right of way.
Yeah, okay.
2 for me.
All right. All right,
There's your the next one, Karen, is the right of way too.
Yeah.
yeah, require future residential and commercial development to provide street trees in the right of way along existing road frontage.
So you're saying requiring private people to plant a tree.
Tree on public property in front of them, yep.
1.
1.
2.
1.
1.
Stipulate in the zoning code that all landscaping and screening trees for commercial projects shall be planted in accordance with ANSI planting standards.
1.
I don't know much about those. I mean, I don't know if that's a good 1 time. If we're gonna require 1, I don't know.
1.
1.
Probably have to do with commercial development.
Yeah.
This one, just about.
Change the zoning code to require applicants creating new parking lots or developing a parking lot to plant 1 tree on the property per 5 parking spaces.
So again, is this a public parking lot?
This one would be private. This is still changing the zoning code. So let's
you're
say,
saying if somebody has a parking lot next to their house I don't quite understand, like,
Be more for a
It's gonna be
commercial.
more for like an IBS, right? No, IBS, let's say a IBS type of building comes in, they have 2 acres of land.
okay,
And instead of having, so when they build a parking lot for their business,
okay,
instead of having just concrete, for every 5 spaces, they're gonna have to put a tree, like, maybe in a little island or something like that. It's more to reduce the amount of heat escape and absorption by the concrete, essentially.
Screening.
Cooling
Yeah.
effect, screening, that was the intention there.
Pretty
That makes
typical.
sense.
One.
Patrick, um,
2,
One,
One,
2,
Okay. Require forest management plans before development or redevelopment commences in certain zoning districts or on properties of certain sizes where the city wants to preserve the integrity of the forest habitat.
this is pursuant to last night, isn't it?
This is kind of like last night, it is, it's basically was
the master.
similar to that.
No, that's that one.
There was a plan, so just as context, this is a good example of what happened, is that a developer, a property owner, wants to split a lot into 4 or 5 lots, but there's a lot of old trees along the floodplain area, and some of the planning commission members have concerns about these old trees being removed during a construction project. Currently, our zoning code allows anyone to remove the amount of trees, as many trees as they want from the property.
It's a no-brainer for me,
This would be saying-
one.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm
Do we
gonna
make it
struggle
one
with
plus?
it. I am,
You could.
just because
This
it's
is why
private,
we're a board.
because it's private property, it's like someone coming in at Dana's house and saying, you gotta take these trees, you can't take that tree down, even though you wanna build a garage, you can't take the tree down.
This is environmentally sensitive.
But even so, I mean, it is giving the city the right to tell people on their private property what kind of trees they can how they have to manage their trees.
It is true. So rather the
It's
reason
a
is.
slippery, I'm gonna say 3, just
Okay.
because,
I'm gonna say one.
Yeah, we can debate it.
yeah, we can make that all night long.
One,
1,
Create restrictions on clear cutting of property. So,
One.
yep.
2,
Gotta get one more one plus in there.
one,
1,
Adopt an ordinance or policy that places limits on the removal of designated heritage trees.
One.
can you tell me what a heritage tree is? What's the definition of a heritage tree?
There could be many, but it's usually a tree it has some sort of significance to the community. Like, the crooked tree, right? That would have been one that would have been a heritage tree. That obviously,
willow.
It's often based on size. Yeah.
there's size and there's also meaning to the community. There's a lot to it.
So again, are we talking about public property or all property?
This is pretty vague. It says an ordinance or policy. So I would assume, it doesn't say zoning code. So zoning code regulates private. So I would assume this just says an ordinance or policy that would be a city public
Okay,
thing.
so if it's city, then I'm good with it. If it's public land, that's fine. 1,
Are we saying it's public land? then? Okay, one.
one,
1,
Consider implementing a plan for adding or improving the tree bases for all street trees and park trees.
Yeah, one.
consider implementing 1, fine.
One and about 4 pluses.
I knew.
You knew that.
Rachel knows it's coming up.
Yeah.
And then talk to me at budget time and I might not give it.
I did a one,
1 for me.
New tree plantings should occur in the early spring or late fall when trees are dormant.
One.
Is that a good thing to do? 1, fine. Really not that knowledgeable.
One, I just don't know if this is gonna fall under, guidelines that we're gonna write, and we don't need to call this out specifically, but we can talk about that next time.
one,
1,
All right, outreach and education. Educate residents on observing trees for potential pests and diseases.
2.
1,
One,
one,
1,
Organize tree stewards and activists to generate public support for protection of the city's urban forest.
2.
2,
3,
2,
Next one is work with private businesses such as landscapers, tree trimming removal companies, and realtors to help spread information about relevant tree issues.
3.
3,
2,
3,
And what I'm not doing this year. Okay, host workshops or live demonstrations on how to properly prune and trim trees.
3.
3. Not a high priority.
all right, I'll say 2 then.
I did a 1.
3,
Write articles about specific threats to trees, such as particular diseases or infestations for dissemination to the public through the local newspapers and city's website and social media.
We're doing that.
Yeah, we'll continue, right? It's, what, one? my God.
One's fine.
We're doing
Mine
it.
was, yeah.
1.
1,
Utilize the city's Parks and Recreation Department to host nature walks and other tree or forest related activities to teach citizenry about the city's urban forest.
2.
1.
2,
Cooperate with local conservancy and outdoor nonprofits to create meaningful education material and outreach programming related to urban forestry. Did you say 1?
I'm sorry.
2.
2, oh, okay.
2.
2,
2.
2,
Engage with appropriate Harbor Springs School District staff to create youth-based activities and workshops that teach students about trees in the urban forest.
1.
2.
1. 2.
2,
Create a tree awareness packet that includes information about diseases, tree maintenance, and other tree issues, and make it available for download from the city's website.
1.
2.
1. 2.
1,
Hold an annual public forum that specifically focuses on residents' tree concerns, issues, or questions.
3.
2.
2.
2,
Create surveys to gather feedback on a particular tree or urban forest issue or challenge.
2.
3.
3.
3,
Maintain a presence at public events to disseminate information about tree issues.
2.
1.
1. 1.
1,
Give specific tree species seeds packets to residents and students for planting on private property.
2.
3.
3. 1.
2,
Create an Arbor Day program.
Yeah, we've done it. 1.
1.
Almost there, guys. Install tree identification signs near specific trees throughout the city, such as near the boardwalk or in our forested areas, and create a self-guided tree tour route.
3.
3. 3. 1.
2,
Recruit volunteers to partake in tree planting and maintenance.
1.
2.
2. 2.
2,
Distribute tips and guidelines for residents on how to care for and maintain newly planted trees.
2.
2.
1. 1.
2,
Document and track expenses related to tree planting care and outreach based on expense categories outlined in section 8.2.
1.
1.
1. 1.
1,
Create a spreadsheet for funding received going forward from each specific fund category.
1.
1.
1. 1.
1,
Promote the city's Donate a Tree program using multiple mediums.
1.
2.
2. 1.
1,
Research and apply to 2 grants per year.
1.
And big.
What else do you have on your plate? Let's say
Rachel,
2.
the grant maker.
I say 1, and if we could get it for maintenance, that'd be just amazing.
2.
1,
Hold an annual fundraising campaign for a particular tree-related project.
1.
2. 3.
2.
2,
Finally, request the city dedicates annual monies for tree planting and care.
1.
1.
1. 1.
1,
All right. So Karen, I guess the goal is for me to average these all up
Okay.
and then come back. We should go to Arbor Day Fest stuff, but come back next meeting with the higher ranked ones, discuss which ones we want to do, and then talk about any of the issues about combining them, some of the goals, or getting rid of any of the ones that seem like they're dead in the water or.
We'll rephrase
Or
it.
would it be good,
Phrasing
do you
it.
want to show mine real quick and we could just
Well,
look
we
at
do
this
gotta
under
get-
category?
Arbor Fest stuff, yeah.
Where the time go?
Yeah,
Okay,
so I think if we do it next time,
okay.
that's up to me, that's,
No, I think it'd be good for you to do that and send over the averages, and then I think I could go back and I can work with Dan too, and we could try to combine some of these and make it a little simpler next round. I mean, I guess I was kind of pleased that we were pretty much in agreement with our numbers.
Yeah, most of the
So far
time.
There was,
Yeah,
most of the time, so
Yeah,
I
that's
think we're on the same page. And the one thing that I was kind of uncomfortable with is that we're deciding, on your priorities too, as part of this, which, we're assuming that you or Ben, have time to do this on top of the other things you already know you're doing.
We are, all we're doing here is, as a tree board, saying which of these goals are more important, less important. And so whoever it falls on, doesn't mean we're gonna get those done. But it means that if I'm gonna work on something tree related, I should go to that top priority one first. So if I have free time, let's say next month, and one of the things to do is to start documenting some expenses, I'll do that before I start making an ordinance about removing trees from a private property.
Right.
Because it answers threes.
Great. Well, good. This went a lot faster than I thought it would.
Yeah, this was good.
Yeah.
This was really good.
That was good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. It makes you stop and think about it.
Yeah, well, I went a lot faster than I really could.
That was a lot of,
By the whole thing a
that was a
little
lot
bit.
of the footwork you did before that, because we all had looked at it. It makes it easier.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to accomplish, so we wouldn't be here past the hour.
Mhm.
Good. Okay, so then we want to talk about Arbor Day next?
Yeah, so I put together really quick here, the event schedule. This is not set in stone, but I think I want to set in stone these times. I talked to Eric Hemingway, and he said he's comfortable 11:30 a.m. doing a walk and talk about our history. So the tasks that I've accomplished or that we've accomplished, I know Dana got sponsors from Johansson's and who else? Johansson's. Didn't you ask? Was it
Yeah.
both? No.
Oh, David Hoffman.
David Hoffman. All right. So we got money from them.
So we're gonna do white pines.
Yep, pine, we ordered the white pine trees. There was some complications because prices were going up. And so we found a place in Wisconsin, but I confirmed with Ben Vealing about what, I forget. Oh, about when he can come. And then flags for locating nature art. We do have little, like Nancy talked about, like Mystic flags that don't say Mystic on them.
Yeah,
Different
just
color
some.
flags, yep. So we got that. So task to do, the banner sign, create an order. Basically, Rachel had given me that we used, was it Deca Digital?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna reach out to them and maybe, I don't think we need to actually like design like any drawing, but maybe just the layout of it, like, how should this banner be laid out?
What
Logo,
information?
yeah, what information should be on that, and from you, Patrick, I'll see what visually looks good, as far as a banner. Placards for tree identification. I know Dana had emailed me some examples. I don't know how far we've gotten on that, but we could talk about it. Table for farmers market. We need to confirm with the farmers market and get volunteers. I know Dana volunteered their spouses.
Yeah, I don't think my spouse is not gonna be in town. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay,
So I think we can talk.
But I
about
can do it too.
yeah, Michael would go.
Yeah, and I can
Okay.
do it too. That's good.
Signs for nature art, and this is mostly me, but, Patrick had talked about getting a sign indicating that they can just, was it a QR code or take a picture of the instructions and take it with them. So creating some sort of document sign. Liability forms for adults, tree climbing, I'll get that. Food, Karen said you were gonna talk to the IGA.
I did.
Okay, good. Print some tree forms with a QR code, forms that they can, print out our information on. Health license, I asked Rachel if she could look
What
into
does
that.
print tree forms mean? I'm sorry.
So like, we talked about having, like a tree donation form,
Oh, gotcha.
something about the tree board.
Yeah.
Coordinate with the school for artwork to display at Kiwanis. Savannah, I was gonna talk to you about that. And then signs for stations, just to let, this table is nature art, meet here, this table is Benview, so.
Did we miss Dana's walk in the woods on the top
Yeah,
ones?
I don't think there's much to do about that.
You had a schedule.
I think
I did
It's
mess
all
it
right,
up here, sorry.
That's okay. When I was reading through
It should be.
it, I thought we
I
had.
guess what time do we want to do that? If we
Well,
have
we can
nature art is from the start to the end.
Right.
So people just,
I think this could be from start to end and we just stagger, like, maybe I'll go with Ben's, if I can call him. We could take a walk and see what makes sense. And then we also can figure out what trees we want placards for. Although this is interesting because didn't we say that we don't think it's that important to have placards just now?
we did.
Well, I think that my understanding on this was permanent placards
Yeah,
on
all
the
over
city.
around
Yeah.
town, I
Yeah,
think.
which I don't
what that
think-
one was.
That's
Yeah.
important, but I think for what we're
Yeah.
talking about,
I think it'd be nice at Kiwanis. I don't know. if
yeah,
I
and
want it
Arbor
every
Day, I
time.
think that would be nice.
So if it's all right, I can call Ben and we can arrange to walk around and see what trees we wanna,
Yeah, I'll email you guys. Yeah.
what?
If you want to email him, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And I could be a guide as well that day.
Yeah, so I was
Wanna
just,
get a couple guides.
I can do
Yep.
that. Because I won't know the trees.
yeah, so I can put together just a little blurb on our forest ecology, like, you know, we're like uplands music, which includes typically these species, and here they are now.
So
do
you
wanna
want
say
that to be 11 to 2 staggered? I guess,
I think that's good. So maybe once we figure out how long, it might be like a 15-minute walk.
So say, so that if you had a
Okay.
group of 6 kids that wanted 6 people, you would take them.
Yeah, so we
And then-
could do it like at 11 at 12 at 1 at 2, or I could do 2 in an hour probably.
all right.
Yeah.
So then I'll just put something 11 to 2 a.m. So
Yeah,
2
good
p.m.,
one.
sorry. So the times, build a bird feeder. I imagine Rachel, you'll stick around and build the bird feeders with kids as they come. Eric said 11:30. Tree climbing, I put Ben in a window there because it's gonna take some time to set up and sit down. And then trail cleanup, Karen, I just put that at 1:30 at the end. Should take no longer than a half an hour probably.
Are you gonna make yard signs or?
Yard signs.
Yeah, like when you say like the QR code, like that, or you do like yard signs. I was gonna say, we have Fall Fest yard signs, we probably just put like construction paper over them and make them look nice.
What?
That's what I'm gonna do for them.
Okay, all right, yeah,
So you're not spending money.
that's fine, yeah, that's fine, cool. So based out of this, is there any, I know I talked a little bit with Savannah about artwork, so I'll ask her right now, Savannah. Is there a teacher, our teacher you can talk to about, what we wanted to do was see if there's any kids, whether in the middle school, high school, or elementary school, that could maybe do some drawings of like nature and trees, and then we can post those drawings at Kiwanis, the building.
Is there like,
And our teacher that's willing to do maybe a project, like they can have the kids like, an assignment to like draw trees or draw nature, and then we can display them.
yeah, I talked to a couple people. Claire can for sure do it. She has a lot of experience with art. Was there like a certain amount of kids you were looking for, or?
A class, 3rd, 20.
So they
15.
do them ahead of time.
Yes.
And we'd hang them up
And we
for
hang
the
them
day.
inside the Kiwanis part.
Is what
You know,
we-
So you
couple
just
things
need, like-
ahead.
Do you need them there or?
They don't have to be there, the kids, we just want to hang up their artwork.
Okay, got it.
Or would we say like 1 grade, like 3rd grade?
Yeah, it could be a grade, a class, yep.
Whatever the art teacher needed.
Whatever the art
spot to
teacher
fill.
can, if she wants to, whoever's there to make an assignment out of it, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I could talk to a teacher, have them be there.
Okay,
You thinking the whole 3rd grade or just one of the 3rd grade classes?
it doesn't matter what grade are you looking at?
Well, the high schoolers are probably gonna be busy. It's Saturday, so I feel like younger kids would be better.
But they don't have to be there.
They don't have to- they don't
Like
have to
them
be there.
But this is like to draw a picture of a tree 2 weeks ahead of time that
Yeah,
we can put up.
yeah, it would be better for the younger kids to draw.
And that would encourage them to come and look at their, get their parents to come and look at what they did. and
Celebrate
stuff.
Arbor Day.
What?
We celebrate
Yeah.
Arbor Day.
Yeah, I would think,
They'll dress up the walls too, so we need them back ahead of Saturday, of course, so we have time to hang them all.
yeah, so we'd have to, might have to put it on paper.
Put it on cardboard or
behind
something.
The other question I had for you is if any student volunteers from the NHS or high school wanted to volunteer that day, if you know anyone.
Yeah, I could get some people.
Yeah,
It's Memorial Day weekend.
yeah, so I know a lot of people might be going
realize-
out.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. Dana, can we just put holes in the wall up there? Like
Rachel?
Or tape, just put tape or,
Okay.
And then double-sided sticky tape that comes right off the wall.
it'd be really good to put. some
Rachel, did you
kind of
just paint that?
board up, yeah. Might be really good to put some kind of cork board or something up
So I was
there.
kind of thinking we could put like a big,
Strip of cork
Or
board.
some,
board.
however you guys hang stuff
and
on
then you
walls
could just
now.
take their pictures and put them. Instead of laminate, you could laminate them, you could also just put them on the back of like colored construction
Colored paper to
and
make
then
them-
make like a
yeah.
roll of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be better than putting a bunch of holes in the wall up
I know holes.
there. No holes.
It's a new rule.
okay.
Come on.
Okay, yeah. I know Dana was at our house when she was painting, so I know she was working hard.
Would it be helpful if I did like a site layout where we could decide where we want the stations?
On the property, you mean?
I would think so.
I mean, yeah, we just need to, I mean, we want to all keep them relatively close to the building.
Yeah.
So wherever, you know, we're gonna have the tables are the stations, and
Will DPW bring some tables up?
we have plenty of. tables.
Yeah, there are a lot.
There's a lot.
There are a lot of-
Yeah, there's already a
But
bunch.
Kiwanis Estates, they've already brought a bunch up. I'll double check, but
Okay.
there are quite a few.
Okay,
Did we talk about food? Are we gonna barbecue? Oh, John Cup said that maybe the fire department would barbecue.
Well, Karen first said she was gonna see what food the IGA could donate. Did you ask them?
I did talk to him, Scott, they're the manager, and they're willing to work with us on it, and he just needs to know ahead of time what we want. I said, we're probably looking at hot dogs and snacks and buns and things like that. He said, great, whatever, just let me know what you want ahead of time.
Sure.
So-
If John comes, if he wants to come to barbecue,
Be kind of fun to have the fire department there.
yeah, they're always.
They wear his fire hat. Are
He
you bringing
won't be there.
Dalmatian
It'll
too?
be his guys.
Someone gonna bring a grill then?
Yeah.
Are you gonna like do a grill?
Did you say DPW has one they could bring?
Yeah.
let's look
Yeah,
at that,
we have
Rachel.
a
She can-
portable grill.
see, we'll see you as a grill, because otherwise it's a George Foreman.
Yes, we got pretty good with
Yeah.
that.
We do have a travel propane grill that on wheels that we could bring if we needed it.
One other thought, darn, it's gone. Oh, if we do need to buy things, we certainly could find more sponsors, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
So we already have, what, $500 from, I think we got the check from Johansson's. Who else?
David
I don't know if
Hoffman.
did I get their check? Maybe I did. I'll have to check. I know I got one of them.
Mhm.
So, but that'd be $1,000. I mean, the trees were a few hundred. Food is gonna be donated, right?
I was just
So
gonna say, what are we
discount.
spending
Whatever
money
they
on?
don't want to donate, I could cover.
No,
But
we
what
can
do we
cover
wanna
that with a
spend?
$1,000 sponsor.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we don't, if we go above that $1,000, I just,
We'll get another one.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll just need to decide, obviously, a few weeks ahead of time what we want, so
How
they
many,
can,
how much food we need.
yeah.
So what are we spending money on except the trees?
The signs, the banner, we're gonna get a banner there.
Okay,
The food, if we need the food. The health license is 50, 60, $55. Any of the placards that we order.
okay.
The little tree identification things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I don't need to know exactly. I was just curious beside from that. So 1,000 probably should do.
1,000, I think, should cover it at this.
Foods be.
We were thinking at first that the trees might be more like
Right.
$500-600,
Yeah.
but we found one that, I think came out to 300 or something like that. So I think $1,000 should cover it for now, as long as the food is covered,
Yeah.
or at least some of it covered. That would be-
Yeah, does anybody have a gut feel for how many people might be coming to this based on what you've learned from the sledding hill? I know that's really cold and hopefully we'll be warm on.
I think parents are always looking for things for kids to do, right?
Yeah, a lot of people will be up then.
100 people, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the sledding events is like 50 to 100 easily.
Everybody usually have a-
Weather.
And I'll, and we get a lot of people, I mean, Rachel does a good job of advertising, but on Facebook, if we do like a $10, $15 spend on an ad and put it to greater Harbor Springs area, people will know what's going on, they will come, so.
As long as the weather's good.
We did,
Yes.
Be really weather dependent.
we also did flares in the store windows, and I think that helped. Didn't people say in the survey that that's where they saw
Yeah,
it?
there are a couple of those, like word of mouth, social media were the biggest.
Do we want to have somebody work on a flyer?
The Friday folders. at
Yeah,
school.
Friday folders and just putting it out in the school newsletters.
Yeah.
Should we skip flyers in the windows then, or should, I can rough something up.
Before, well, I mean, I guess it's in May, so more people might be downtown. It's hard in the winter, like, it's hard to judge, I mean, downtown's a little slower, so.
Well, we'll put an advertisement, we'll do a little flyer and we'll put it in the Harbor Light and we'll put it, and then people, if they want to distribute it, we can distribute it to others, the school and.
The school newsletter is free, so
Yeah.
that's an easy one. So.
We have a rain date, or what do we do about rain?
Rain, we should just stick with it. Just go. If it rains, then, people still can play in the rain. It's only if there's gonna be a lightning thunderstorm is when we're going to tell people, in the building, because we're not gonna do tree climbing. When there's a thunderstorm. And
So I
so-
have
Right
a
there.
10-foot canopy, you have a 10-foot canopy.
I do.
Well, the building will be open too.
Yeah.
So, we'll have people go in the building. You can bring a canopy if you want, but I don't know if it'll be necessary. If there's a huge rainstorm, a lot of people won't come and some people will come.
It'll be nice weather. Don't talk about it. It'll be nice weather.
All right, so I think,
So for food estimating, then how many people do we want to say? 100?
I would say 100. Let's do that for now. And if we get
We can
any
run
idea
up,
closer to the date,
we can run up to IGA,
We
get
can
more
always
hot dogs.
run to
yeah.
the IGA if we can run out of hot dogs.
So what do we want? Hot dogs, buns?
Chips and all this is, a lot of that we got at Gordon's.
The chips I got at Gordon's only because, and Scott might be able to order these through the IGA, but the individual bags, you don't want like
You don't want
big bags of
common,
chips, you
right?
just want them to take.
So we have chips left over, right, at like a whole, or did you return those?
I couldn't return them,
Okay,
but there's not enough left over to get you through your,
no, but we certainly should use some.
Something to drink.
they expire.
yeah.
We have enough ketchup and mustard for the next 100 years probably.
Yeah.
What about cookies or desserts or anything like
Yeah,
that?
maybe some cookies, your brownies, whatever whatever we have.
No,
Some
can we
drinks.
use our paper plates and napkins from parks?
Oh, wow. I was gonna get it on first.
Okay, so we probably have, I don't know, do we have enough?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
The only other thing
Plates.
you might want to consider, I don't know population here, but maybe some veggie dogs for it's nature-based, environmental.
But they probably won't want them cooked on the same grill if it's like my kids.
Just like,
We
exactly.
can put a small
Bring it
little
George
section of the
Foreman.
grill.
Foreman.
Bring it George
The George Foreman, yeah.
Veggie George Foreman.
Do
Microwave.
we want to, what do we want to do for drinks? Should we do? This is where we get into the whole single-use water bottle thing. Seems
What
not
about,
right for
does the
Arbor
city
Day.
have like a big cooler, drink cooler?
We did.
Why don't you get,
Make lemonade or
if you
something?
have like a cooler, I have all those Hooligan water things still, because we never used them. Other Kiwanis, so if you want, you can
Oh,
get them pretty cheap, like rent it for like the day. If you want to go that route, there's like 7 of them up there. So
Let's do that instead of,
definitely get you through.
And then just paper cups.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
can
paper
go
cups.
away.
Cups.
Rather
So
than-
do we
that's
need
something like that's a good idea.
lemonade mix or something?
Yeah,
then, too?
lemonade
Yeah.
and a
We
big
need mixers.
cooler if it's hot.
Do that route, you could just, yeah.
That's for mixes.
Something like that's easy.
so maybe a flyer is good, and on the flyer, do you want me to work on that? And then it can be
if you want to.
free hot
yeah.
dogs, yeah, free hot dogs and lemonade. What else would we,
Chips.
well, I'll work on
And
it.
yeah, whatever it is, and
Water.
make sure that flyer says sponsored by, held by a tree board, sponsored by Johansson's and Hoffman.
And food donated by
Food donated by
IGA.
IGA, so we'll work on that flyer. We should get it ready by next tree board meeting.
Okay,
So,
yep,
because we want a month to advertise.
I'll work on it.
All
I
right,
could try to get more specific with Scott at IGA and let him know this is what we're looking to do and is he willing to donate all of it or part of it? And we'll have to get an estimated cost if we have to pay for any of it then.
won't be too much. We already got it covered, so.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have. So we'll work on these things and then Patrick, I'll definitely send you an email. And then Savannah, if you can get back to me about the artwork and NHS volunteers or something. All right, Karen, I think we have one last thing really quick on the agenda, right?
Yes. So the next thing is the next topic for the tree canopy. So last meeting, we talked about, put together like a spreadsheet of what we have done so far. Okay, thank you. Karen, this is really helpful. So I kind of looked at what we did. And so we don't duplicate what we're going to do. And so we need to pick a topic for April. And I think it makes sense to do something that helps owners know how to prepare their trees for spring. Unless you guys have some other ideas. of what we
There
can
really
do there.
isn't anything,
Nothing, just make sure they're still alive or
yeah, something like that.
No pruning, no nothing in the spring.
trimming, pruning, nothing.
Hope it rains.
Maybe a pest.
How about an article on what do trees need?
Water, light,
Air.
no.
So like people don't know,
Love.
people don't know that you can't like put 6 inches of fill over the roots and expect the tree to survive. And then maybe this gets at like, you do need to water your trees when we're in a really dry period. So maybe that could be the focus.
Sure, do you have a list of things like that?
Yeah, do you want me to write it this month?
Yeah, if you wouldn't
Sure.
mind, because you know right off the top of your head what you would suggest that people know.
Yep.
And then we need to pick a, and also a mention that this Arbor Day Fest again, just made another mention that it's coming up May 28th. Then a featured tree.
What if we did white pine, since we're gonna be giving those away? And that could be the tie-in to Arbor Day.
You're the ones writing it, so.
You like that?
The last one was nice,
Yes.
actually, by the way, it was good.
Because we're getting rid of 33 white pines.
Do you want to, I can do the reminder about Arbor Day if you want. You know, for the article, because I think we should remind people again.
Get you
Sunday. Okay,
sentence.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Next meeting is April 15th. So I'll have more about this, and then we'll look at the implementation matrix and then start working on some of these priorities for once Arbor Day Fest is.
All right.
Really good work.
You know, this board makes a lot of progress, all right? I like it. We did make a lot of progress.
I guess it helps to be small, right?
That's true.
We're like a really incredible group of